and these three servers are not able to handle the load. What I can do is I can install an additional server and I can add it to this system. One way is I can increase the CPU and memory for this server. Like if now I have like 64 CPUs and 128 GB RAM, I feel if this is not sufficient, I can increase the CPU and memory, or I can build a new server and add it as a new application server to this system. Both are possible. So here we have three servers. So initially we define a logon group and assign servers to it. So for this dialog logon group, I am assigning this two servers 01 and 02. So whenever I use this logon group to log in, I will be logged into either 01 or 02. Since 03 is not part of any logon, not part of any logon group, end user cannot log into this server.
Okay.
So you can go to edit. Sorry, go to load distribution. Here you can see how many users are logged into this 10, 20, and
so like your screen again got filled, I think.
Okay, I'll unshare and share it again. Let me know when you're able to see it.
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay.
So from where we will open this load distribution.
This T code is SMLG.
SMLG, okay.
This code here, go to load distribution.
Okay.
Here you can see how many users are logged into each server. So, and what is the response time on each server? So since the number of users is very less, the response time is good. Lower the low response time means if I click, if I enter something and press enter, with how many seconds I'm getting back a response. So that is so here if I do some transaction in this server, I'm getting a response within 8 milliseconds. But when I do something on this 02, it takes 372 milliseconds for me to get a response. Means this server is now heavily loaded. So you see the quality number.
But the user on 01 server is larger than 02. It is 80 and it is 26.
Yeah, that is because not only end users are using the system. There is something called batch processing is also running. Means background jobs are running in the system. It will be scheduled during night times. If you go to this T code where you see all the process SM66, you see all the process. Now what I'll do is I'm just selecting only whichever is this waiting process. I'm not worried because they are free. I can choose to display only 1 minute. Okay, so I'm just choosing only the whichever work process is occupied. If you see, okay, I'm just filtering this. See, there are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these many background processes are running. Means they are background jobs. So if you see which server it is running, you see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 jobs are running on this app2 server. So this would be maybe these are memory intensive jobs. If you see it's running for a long time. So this would be occupying more memory, right? These background jobs also. So since this server is overloaded with background processing, whenever a user looks into this server, for them the processing will be slow, because if this server is already occupied by these background work job processors, and it's doing the work for that those background jobs. Already the CPU and memory are being utilized by them. So end user using this system, they will have some slow response. Also, you can also see this transaction, that's something called AL08. This is the transaction where you can go and see like who are the users logged in and which server they are logged into. So if I see my user, so this is my user. So I have logged into this app01. So I can see where which user, so any user you take. So which user they have logged in, you can go and check from this server. So here you can see not only end users will be called like a dialog users. Even if there is a connection, so if you see here, okay, see for me, you see there are two entries. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
sort for my name. Okay, see. If you see here, this ALG08, I am logged in using AL08. I am using SAP GUI. Okay, if you see there is above this, there is something called HTTP because I opened a HTTP session here, right? Using WebGUI.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Yes, yes.
Not this one.
This is few.
Yeah, this one I opened, right?
Yeah.
So that is the session, HTTP session here. What I'll do is I'll log off from this session. Exit. So I have logged off from this session. I close this session. Now when I do a refresh, so that HTTP session has gone now. So this RFC, it is showing us RFC because I logged into this system and I've executed new transactions, multiple transactions I've executed in the same system. So that will show us an RFC here, even though it's not like defined RFC. This also shows an RFC. So forget about this RFC for now. So here, this is one transaction. You can see which users have logged in, which server they have logged in, and which server they are working on. So the reason I see this as RFC because I have run this transaction called SM66, right? So SM66, it picks up details from all the servers. So that is the reason I see all three server details here. Because I ran SM66 transaction. Now if I just close this, confusing. Now what I'll do is I'll just close all sessions and I'll show you like when I use something transaction, these kind of SMLG and all, because it has to go and pick up from all the servers details, it is showing us I have logged into all three servers. Internally, it has logged in to all three servers to pick up the details. Now I've logged into only one session. Now I go and do the AL08. Okay. So, let me log off. Or if I show using my user ID, it will show it because AL08 also it picks up details from all three servers. So only way I can show you is like if you any one of you, okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll log into this server.
Hello.
Yeah. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you have to reshare your screen.
Okay. Okay, maybe I'm logged into a different system. Here we created your user ID at that day, right? We'll okay, maybe I keep this screen aside. What I'll do is
Okay, so for particular SID, the client number is different.
The client number is something we can choose it. We can define the client number. By when we install the system by default, when we install a new system, there will be only there will be two kinds by default, 000 and
Because
001.
I have asked this question because once you have logged in SOD your client number is 100, and when you are logging to, I think EID, the client number is 200 for all the users.
Yep,
That's
that's
what
what
I
I'm
was.
telling. Like when you install a system, by default, these two clients will be there, 00 and 001. Okay, it's like I can tell you uh, in the same server, maybe in your window, if you have a laptop, you can have like 2, 3 logins, right? You can have like one login for you, to a second login for some of your family members, something like that. The system is the
Yeah.
same, but one client. But when you log in as a particular user, you cannot see the data of other whichever user has created. It's something like a client is something like a individual business unit. I think there is a separate topic regarding clients and all. We can discuss that in detail
Yeah,
later.
client administration.
Yeah. So but just when a system is installed, we by default SAP provides these two clients, but we will not be using these two clients. This will be like something like a reference only. We should not use this 000 client. We should not use it. 001 we can use it, but we will not be using it. So we will be creating a new client. We'll copy this details contents and we'll create a new client. So this is up to us. We can choose whichever number we want and we'll create a client. Okay, I think on that day we created some user for you, right, Shubham? Remember the password?
Password. Password I don't remember.
Yeah, we'll reset it. Okay, so yeah, so okay. The left one is my login. I'm logged into this system. My left one. If you see, this is where I logged in and I executed AL08 transaction. So now I'm logging in as Shubham. Okay, once you logged in, if you come and refresh here, you can see the user has logged in. So now you can also see whichever transaction the user is executing here. Now he is in the home screen. Now if I am executing some transaction, SM60, so, maybe SM21. Shubham is executing SM21. You can see what the user is doing.
Yes, SM21.
So this is like monitoring. You can see like which server, which user is logged in and what they are doing. These are all required because if you see one particular server is overloaded, why it is overloaded, like whether a user is executing some memory intensive transaction, those kind of things can be monitored from this AL08. Let's get back to this logon groups. Okay, you ask like if you want, we can order by this server. See, for a particular server, why it is loaded. So see for EP1 server, on EP2, as you asked, the number of users is less on this server, logged in users, but it is because I think there are a lot of background jobs are running on this server currently. So that is the reason you see the response time is high for app2 server. It depends not only it might happen it is possible like one job, even a single job can even slow down the entire system. It has happened many times. It would happen usually if there a user would have started one job, but that job would be a memory intensive job. It would take up all the resources without any control, and it will slow down the entire system. All users would face issues. It's a very regular occurrences. So we have to find out which job is causing it. So if there is any job or a particular user run transaction or a particular job is causing it, and we have to find out, and we have to just get a concurrence, and if needed, we have to cancel that job. So these are all like part of our, it will be a part of our regular work. These kind of troubleshooting. Okay. So there's something called this SMLG, which I told. This is called end user logon group, CCMS. Like here we define which users can log into which logon group. There is also another logon group, that is RZ04. Sorry, this RZ12. This is called RFC server group. What it does, this logon group, why it is required is, see if you see this SM66 here. What happens is, if you see this BTC, if job is, it depends on some background job will run only as will run as one process. If this one job, it will use only one BTC process and run. There are some jobs, what it will happen, what it does it, this one job will trigger multiple processes. It will trigger small short process. Those process, what will happen is, it will start using the dialog work process for a short time. Once there's a big chunk of data to be processed, it will distribute, it will spawn some 10 new processes, and these 10 new processes will be running individually in a dialog work process. Once that is done, these processes will get completed, and it will return to so what it is called is, that concept is called, this background process will create some new parallel processing. So that we have to define, like which server can be used for that purposes. So that is what we define here in this this transaction RZ12, RFC server group maintenance. So this is mainly for this within the system, when a bad job is running or something, it will create some parallel. For parallel processing, it will try to access new dialog work processes. So there we define which servers it can use. Here, if you see, for this particular purposes, they are configured 02 and 03. For the end user dialog, okay, I've already logged in. Okay, here. Okay, for dialog, they have not included the end user dialog. They have not included 3, but for this parallel processing, they have used 2 and 3. 1 is not used for this parallel processing. 1 because 1 they want to use specifically for end users, and 3 they specifically want to use it for this kind of background processing. So that's how you distribute these servers based on your requirements.
Okay.
Okay. I think that's all. I think for this topic on this.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Tell me.
Here, what I can see that in logon group we have dialog and public, but the dialog and public are from same server, that is 01 for dialog also and 01 for public also. So what is the need for doing that?
Yeah, it's not required. It is sufficient if you have one logon group alone. I don't know why they have created multiple, because when we install a system, by default, this public system and all will come. So maybe they were created for end users, they want to log in, they have created dialog one. Because these might have come by default. They want a different name, so they were created dialog. In what we can have is usually why the reason for creating multiple is maybe they can assign 1 and 2 to dialog, 2 and 2 to 3 public, and 3 and 1 to system. Something that is valid one. We can distribute that way also, and we can ask some users to use dialog logon group, some users to use public logon group, some users to use system logon group. So that is an option. But here it doesn't matter if the assignment is same. So whichever logon group the user uses, it doesn't matter. They will either log into 1 or 2.
Okay.
Okay, I think any doubts so far in today's topic or previous week's topic?
No. And what is this SAP GUI for Java and HTML/?
This is what I show this web browser. The one you logged in using the web browser.
Okay.
That's called web GUI. It's called SAP GUI for HTML or web GUI.
Okay. Okay, so no problem. And Prasanna, did you ask Amol about the laptops? What is the status?
No, I haven't checked. No, maybe I'll ask him today.
Okay.
Okay, then maybe we'll just go through these, and if you have any doubts, we can discuss in the afternoon.
Okay.
Just come up with any, if you want to have a recap of any of the topics covered so far, we can also cover it in the evening. If you want to go over any of the particular topics again, or if you have gone through any of the documents and you have some doubts on that, we can discuss about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.